Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you so much. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the fucks I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a fuck, that's what they don't understand.
Back again like flu season, I broke records while loose leaving. I'm coming now, my roof leaving. Don't give a fuck, I don't care. Did the shit by my lonesome, no wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run, all I really want is my share. Get on my god, on my totem, it's nothing. In the discussion, fuck all the feelings, I throw all my pain on percussion. Shit is disgusting, I hear them bragging about shit that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you all my spot at the feast. I've been on go mode, showboat, rowboat, wave ride. Cool shorty, too naughty, pool party, wet for the face ride. Annie up, penny down, hand me down, $3 old drip. New money, too funny, old shorty, talking about old shit. I'm on their ass now, can't get a pass now, I'm a cash cow, keeping it brash now. Niggas is trash now, I'm a spaz out. I've been killing my lows and living on highs. You see in the skies the proof, you could just see in my eyes that there is no lies, I cannot disguise the truth. I've been ducked off, getting sucked off in my new merch, color duck sauce on the new couch with my chucks on. Get the fuck on with that hate. I'm big cool on the small chat, cause I know now that I'm all that. Got a Hawkeye on the ball cat, get the fuck out of my face.
Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you so what. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the fucks I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a fuck, that's what they don't understand.
Welcome to Paradigm Shift TV 314. This is your brother, DMG the Poet, aka Brother Pianki. Today we got a cool show for you. Hopefully my brother Sabio will be jumping on, but if he don't, we still gonna get right to it because I got something else coming up later on. Before I get into my spiel, let me say God bless to my Christian brothers and sisters, Hotep to my Kemetic brothers and sisters, Shalom to my Israelite brothers and sisters, Islam to my Moorish brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum to my brothers and sisters in the NOI, peace to my brothers and sisters in the nation of gods and earth, them 5 percenters. Salute to my atheist brothers and sisters. Shout out to my Abo brothers and sisters, and Jumbo to the rest of my brothers and sisters throughout the African diaspora, be it here in the wilderness of the United States of America or beyond. Y'all know I say that greeting for one reason and one reason only, is because if you're black, I'm with you, and I hope you with me. Our different ideologies should not keep us from uniting, and we can disagree without being disrespectfully disagreeable. With that being said, me and my brother Sabio was having a interesting conversation. You said, what my brother say? Unblock Sutek. Yeah, let me get on that. Because I didn't block him in the first place. So let me get on that right quick. But yeah, me and my brother Sabio was having an interesting conversation. I guess he saw a post of mine and decided to hit me up. And he said, damn, DMG, you really got fool's gold. And I was like, what you talking about? Because I wasn't sure. And he was like, Christianity is fool's gold. And of course I started laughing. And so I asked him, I say, so were your ancestors fools? And he said, yes. I'ma say what y'all don't want to say. I said, okay, I got you. So our ancestors who were Christians were fools. Now I find that absolutely disrespectful. I find that absolutely appalling. Now, Sabio is my brother. When I'm going through my mental issues and personal fights, my man called and check on me. So this ain't no beef between me and him. Again, we can disagree without being disrespectfully disagreeable. I say our ancestors are some of the most profound people to ever exist in history. For people to be enslaved, fight for their freedom, and gain their freedom. And then within 80 years of having that freedom, become some of the most productive people in the country that enslaved them is remarkable to me. That's to me. But my brother don't have to share that sentiment, right? And so we disagree because I don't think a fool could accomplish that. But my brother said that they are indeed fools. And so I just want to look up the word fool and see what that actually means. Because according to Sabio, anybody who believes in a god of any sort, a religion of any sort, is a fool. And it says that a person who acts unwisely or imprudently, a silly person. For an example, what a fool I was to do this. It also says trick or deceive someone, dupe. He fooled the nightclub manager into believing he was a successful businessman. And so, again, I just disagree with my brother that my ancestors would qualify for such a thing. Now, some of you may agree, but I don't think a fool could pull off what my ancestors pulled off. And I was hoping my brother could come on and explain how that could be. Now, again, that's just me. Now, yeah, I'm working on that now. I'm looking to see. I don't even know how that dude did that, but peace to the rest of the chat. I'm working on getting Sutek unblocked. I thought Sutek was a mod. I don't even know how he blocked him. Man, that really pissed me off that dude did that, man. Blocking people on my channel. But yeah, for those who unaware, I was trying to do a little co-platforming thing with the brother over at the newsroom. And because the brother got in his feelings about some stuff, my brother Sutek was saying in the chat, he blocked him, but he didn't block him on his channel. He blocked him on my channel. Obviously, that was the end of that partnership. But I'm still cleaning up that mess. But yeah, I'm working on getting my brother unblocked, and I'm gonna mod him back up also. But matter of fact, yeah, see, I just can't find where the people who blocked are. That's the issue. I gotta find where the people who blocked are so I can unblock them. But yeah, I'm gonna keep working on it. I might have to call my sis Neo X and help me out. But yeah, so he also said that Christianity was part and parcel to white supremacy. In other words, they go hand in hand. And again, that's something my brother gotta show and prove, because that would mean that Christianity was created for the purpose of white supremacy. Christianity was created in first century Palestine. I don't think there were I know there weren't categories of black and white black back then. Never mind a concept of white supremacy. Now, my brother would have to show me how that's right and exact. But I was hoping to dialogue with him, and again, I'm still waiting to see if he gonna jump on. But yeah, hey Google, not me. What's I forget the brother name, but yeah, the brother over there, he has some he one of these brothers who believe we aboriginal to this land, or at least he is. And you know how I go with Brother Sean and the Mossy Warrior clan. He dismantled that, and the brother got in his bag, and it was bad. And I didn't mind if he wanted to block him on his channel. But if we doing a simulcast, how you gonna block somebody from my channel? And so, as you can see, we no longer in a partnership. Unfortunately, I don't wish the brother no ill will. We just can't be in partnership with you blocking, key contributors to what I'm trying to do. So, okay, D New, I appreciate it, Queen. Go to the community. Okay. Got you. I'm on it. So yeah, that's my stance. Again, I believe that our ancestors, whether you believe Christianity is right and exact or not, is up to you. Um, I don't knock anybody who feels a particular way, one way or the other. Um, but what we can't deny is these people used Christianity as inspiration to free themselves. This is in their testimony, not mine. I ain't making it up. They said it. When you read these slave testimonies, they talk about personal experiences with God. They talk about their belief and their faith pushing them forward. And we know that these are the same people who fought for their freedom. Had our people not enlisted in the Union Army, had they not volunteered uh, in the makeshift hospitals and as messengers and things of that nature, the Union would have lost that war because the Confederates was kicking their ass. I'm kicking their tail. And so they liberated themselves by acting. Faith without works is dead, so to speak. And so I just think that it's disrespectful to minimize the role that they faith played in that process when they are uh, putting that forward and saying that it was paramount. Who am I to say, nah, that wasn't it? That's kind of crazy. Like if I'm saying, look, my love for my wife is what motivates me to keep pushing forward to accomplish whatever my goals are. How can somebody else come and say, nah, what it really is that brother was just motivated and he just said that? Nah, it's what I said. And so for my man to say that they were fools when these people, again, fought and won their freedom and survived, many of them, that hellish ordeal is kind of crazy to me. Like we look at somebody like the real Uncle Tom, Josiah Henson. I believe he trekked from Kentucky to Canada for to get his freedom, right? And once he got there, he went back and helped other slaves gain their freedom. How did he say he got this done? Because of his faith in God. Now, how am I gonna tell that man? Nah, it wouldn't. That ain't what it was. Who the hell am I to tell this man what got him through some of the most terrible conditions you can imagine for miles upon miles upon miles? And if Christianity is really part and parcel to white supremacy, then why did you have white people who helped free our ancestors, helped our ancestors escape captivity? Because you had people saying that they was Christians who enslaved our ancestors and took scriptures out of the Bible to justify that enslavement. And then you had other white people who said, nah, that's not what's up. And they participated in the Underground Railroad and actually put their lives at stake to hide our ancestors, to transport our ancestors to freedom. So which one do we believe were Christian? The ones who wanted to keep our ancestors enslaved, or the ones who were helping to free them? Because it can't be both. It can't be both. Like we can't. You got a clean glass and you got a dirty glass. You got white people on one side helping to free our ancestors, and you got white people on another side that want to keep them enslaved. One of these two can't be what they say they is. Which one is it? I just like make it make sense to me. Y'all know I tell y'all all the time I got a GED. I got slow gases, right? I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. But if you got a group that's saying we Christian, what y'all doing ain't right, and they not only say that, but they begin to help liberate the victims of this travesty. And you got another group who say they the same thing, and they want to keep those people under their thumb with their foot on their neck in some of the worst conditions known to man. Like, so the conditions are so bad that the rest of the world who also practice slavery, because slavery been around since time immemorial. That ain't a Christian thing. That's a people thing. But the slavery in the antebellum South of the United States was so appalling that they called it the peculiar institution, because when the world looked at it, they like, damn, what is they doing to these people? How could they do that? Because ain't nobody treat their slaves like that. That was unique to the antebellum South in the United States. You didn't see that nowhere else. Now, you might have had some outliers, right? In other places, but the inhumanity of American slavery is why history calls it the peculiar institution. It was peculiar to people. And so, again, who's who? If Christianity is part and parcel to white supremacy, why did you have whites helping to free our ancestors from slavery? And who were actually Christians? The enslaver or the people putting their lives at risk, hiding our ancestors under their floorboards? Which one? Because it can't be both. It can't be. Clean glass, dirty glass. That's all I'm saying. And so when we say our ancestors were fools for believing in this, are we saying that Frederick Douglass was a fool? Was Sojourner Truth a fool? Phyllis Wheatley, was she a fool? Harriet Tubman, was she a fool? Martin Delany, Richard Allen, Absalom Jones, were these people fools? The men who fought in the Union Army, were they fools? The men and women who volunteered in these makeshift clinics and hospitals as messengers, again, putting their lives at risk, were they fools? These enslaved people who ran away and said they, one testimony said he climbed up a tree because he heard the hounds coming, and the hound came to the tree he was in and started barking, and a rabbit or a bunny, whatever it was, shot out, and the hound went after it, and he was able to escape. He gave the credit to God. Is he a fool? I just want some clarity. Again, you ain't got to believe in Christianity. I just want to know if they were fools. Because to me, when we look at what Richard Allen and Absalom Jones were able to build with the AME Church, when we look at the men and women who built Black Wall Street and all of these other Black towns around the country, Black cities, like Kinloch right here in St. Louis. When we look at those men and women who were Christians, I don't see no fool. I see geniuses. I see businessmen and women. I see Black men and women getting shit done, like right out of slavery. I see them surpassing white people coming right out of slavery. I don't see no fools. So make it make sense. And again, all this is predicated, according to them, on the God that they believe in. So what's what? I'm just curious. Can we, like, how do we come to that realization that they were fools? Because we disagree with their religion? I just, again, it don't really make sense to me. So my brother probably otherwise occupied. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the link in the chat. We could chop it up for a half hour or so. Y'all like the video, share the video, hit that cash out with $1 or $2 if you got it. And yeah, come in and holler at your boy and let me know how Phyllis Wheatley, who we know was one of the greatest poets who ever lived, how was she a fool? Sojourner Truth. How was this woman a fool? Frederick Douglass, Martin Delany. How are these individuals fools? But let's bring it up a little bit. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., was he a fool? Malcolm X believed in a God. Was he a fool? I mean, inquiring minds want to know. And again, if this belief is part and parcel to white supremacy, they go hand in hand. They one and the same. How can white people who practice it use it to liberate Black people? Wouldn't that go against everything it stands for if it's part and parcel to white supremacy? But we got white people hiding our ancestors under their floorboards to the detriment of their own life because they say they Christians. Again, one side saying I'm a Christian and I want these people enslaved. The other side saying I'm a Christian and that ain't right. And I'm putting my life on the line to help them get free. I just want to know who was who. Who was who? Because when we look at the belief system, does it promote Does it promote slavery? You know, what's that? Is it Galatians 3:28? There is neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free, male nor female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. It is disputed what that really means in the grand scheme of everyone who reads that scripture, right? My brother Captain K would say, I'm taking it out of context. But if that's what it say, that's what it say. I just want to know who's who. And shout out to my big bro Black Lion. He say the other side was bigger than those who brought our ancestors here in slaves. The other side wasn't bigger than those who brought our ancestors here in slave ships. I agree. And it's dope that you brought that up. With regards to the numbers, because that would actually be in line with Christianity as well, wouldn't it? Matthew 7 and 13 through 14, it says, enter ye at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereby. Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth into life, and few there be that find it. So I'm not surprised that it wasn't that many people trying to do what was right. I'm not surprised at that at all, because it's usually more people doing the messed up thing than it is doing the right thing. So to me, that goes hand in hand with who would have been the people who were actually Christian versus the people who were fronting. Because you had one person who was saying, I want to keep these people enslaved. I want to keep treating them like animals. I want to keep oppressing them, suppressing them, you using an incomplete book, etc. Because they weren't using the whole Bible for a reason. And then you had this minority who was saying, nah, we ain't doing that. That's not right. And so that to me, narrow is the way and straight, etc., is the, like, that's in line with who was a Christian and who wouldn't. But let me put this link in the chat. Like I say, come in to chop it up with your boy for a few minutes, because we got Ratchet Craig coming with the aftermath of last week's dialogue with me and Nobody on the Is Sinetta and the HOK good for the Black community. He is doing the aftermath to that show. Shout out to the Slim Reaper. Nominal believers are a thing. Anyone who denies that is just being ridiculous. And I can dig it. let me try to get this suit tech thing taken care of. I'm going to play a little music while I do that. Y'all hold tight. Hit the link if y'all want to come in and talk about this particular topic. What I'm asking is Christianity really part and parcel to white supremacy, and were our ancestors fools for following it? So come in, give me your opinion. Let me know what you think. Let me get this suit tech situation taken care of right quick. I'll be back in a second. Like I say, hit the link, throw a couple dollars in the cash out, and I'll be right back.
Yeah. Just appreciate life. You know? I've been listening to birds cry. I've been viewing from a bird's eye. That's why I always keep my third eye open. I'm focused. If it's real, you know it's gon' come back. This that season, but there's no comeback. If you let go, then please don't run back. Cause if it ain't love, then we don't want that. That I got bigger fish up the fry like we gon' take care of my family when I die, so they can't say I failed with knowing they never tried. Let's put our ego aside and tuck in our inner pride. We force our past to lie, now we traveling worldwide. Some people think I'm fake cause I ain't never replied, but that well is run dry. The people I used to confide in, fuck the way was riding, but it was feelings they was hiding. You tried it, now I'm thinking wow, cause I thought that you was solid. Could've been making money, but you steady making problems. Could've been here with us, yeah, but now you in them comments. You was wildin'. If it's real, you know it's gon' come back. This that season, but there's no comeback. If you let go, then please don't run back. Cause if it ain't love, then we don't want that. 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 Cause if it ain't love, then we don't want that. All the sacrifices that my parents made from me, I return it all, you could get the world from me. Stay the same, make it big, can you still love me? Will you still want me? Cause just like you, I've been trying to mediate, see the value in things before it all depreciate. I found myself protecting my mindset so I don't deviate. Then it start to pull me back, right in an egregious state. With these words I lead the way to lyrical heaven. Just me and my brethren carrying this on our backs like Tim and 07. I'm calm like a setting till it's set in that you could lose it all in the blink of a second. Flash of a minute, involved in an accident. The car started smoking while I was in it. Jumped out, felt the Holy Spirit. God whispers, you got something to live for, and it ain't nothing stopping you. Cause lately it been too much famine and out the hospital. Keep my head in the beats and show them that it's possible to live out your own dreams and go against the logical. I was down till a voice said I believe in you. My mama used to say, your daddy I could see in you. You a man now on your own and I ain't seeing you. Just know I'm stacking up this dough so I could be with you. Stay isolated bro, the saga still continues. Forever. Indies. And you could say anything you want about me, I ain't worried, that don't make it real. They don't really wanna hear real no more. Think they're scared how I make them mad. And you could say anything you want about me, I ain't tripping, that don't make it fact. Look, coming live from the gutter like a cold puddle. When niggas water whipping road, shut the motherfucking whole huddle. Dutch burner moving slow, I'm feeling like the minute hand. All wishes granted to me, turn the independent van. Been a man, never questioned nothing that was in the plan. See it from my third eye vision, so I understand. Poolside plotting moves like a dance team, 100 band scheme in the dirty with my hands clean. Never been the type of nigga they can castrate. 5th grade, I was selling candy to my classmates. I ain't calling back, I let her think about the last date. Student of the game, and I promise you not a classmate. Problem is with these rap niggas, they move iffy in my mood picky. Can't let these niggas get rude with me. God spittin' on to keep my dick lips in it. Here to fuck the game. Niggas acting like I slipped in this small town fly shit. Bitch, you never heard of these. On my apex shit, tip top vertices. It ain't mouth moving, but they never moving vertically. Here to purge the niggas who be practicing the perjury. Black Lord, noble Drew shit, big steppin'. Love them all, give a fuck about the click reppin'. Small losses always taught a nigga big lessons. Quit stressing, liberating knowledge, make the shit lesson. They don't really wanna hear the truth no more. Think they scared how I make them feel. And you can say anything you want about me. I ain't worried, that don't make it real. They don't really wanna hear real no more. Think they scared how I make them mad. And you can say anything you want about me. I ain't tripping, that don't make it fat. They don't really wanna hear the truth no more. Think they scared how I make them feel. And you can say anything you want about me. I ain't worried, that don't make it real. They don't really wanna hear the real no more. Think they scared how I make them mad. And you can say anything you want about me. I ain't tripping, that don't make it fat. That don't make it fat, nigga. That don't make it fat, nigga.
All right. I'm still looking in here in this community page trying to figure this out because I can see my current moderators. Like I got my managing moderator, which is my man Teddy, and then I got everybody else, and I don't see Sutek. I don't know what this dude did. So I'm trying to figure out where do I go to see who's blocked, because that's the issue. If I can see it, I can just say unblock or whatever, whatever the process is. But right now, all I'm seeing is the people who I already have. I'm not seeing who's blocked. So I'm man, this is irking me, man. I'm still pissed at this dude. Okay, hold up. I might have found it. Got it. Man. Damn. I think I got it. Hey, somebody hit Sutek and see if I did this right, because he should be able to come in now and I can mod him back up. So yeah, see if Sutek, if you can get in touch with Sutek, and if I did this right, he should be back in the game and I can mod him back up. Somebody please hit the brother up for me, and hopefully we back straight. Yeah, I think I got it, Black Line. I saw where I didn't know. I didn't realize we had that many people blocked, but most of them, they staying blocked. But I got him out of there. So now I want to see if he can comment in the chat, and then, like I say, I'll mod him back up. But okay, y'all ain't gonna hit the link. Let me put it out here one more time, because if we ain't gonna hit the link, I'm gonna get this Sutek situation taken care of, and I'm gonna get on out of here and make room for the brother Ratchet Craig later on. I'm having camera issues and all kinds of stuff anyway, so. But that's good, because Leandre wife ain't gonna see me eating on camera, so that's a good thing. But yeah, again, if Christianity really part and parcel of white supremacy, and were our ancestors fools for believing in it? Because even when we look today, I said this a while back. You got people like Leandre, who I believe have, and think what you want to about my little bro and his approach, but he got, I want to say, 2 or 3 master's degrees, maybe more. I don't even know how many bachelors. And again, I'm not saying that degrees are the end all be all, but I'm just talking about in terms of his academic accomplishments. When we look from an economic standpoint, the brother is doing very well also. You look at somebody like my man B. Wash, again, very, very much academically accomplished. He a Harvard fellow. Or somebody like my wife, bachelor's, master's, working on a doctorate, vice president at her company. All of these people are Christians. And they give the credit for what they've accomplished to the God they serve. Or I don't see a fool in that trio. Now, in contrast, my brother Sabio. Can you say you have accomplished the same thing? I haven't, so that's not a knock. But if they a fool, haven't accomplished what they accomplished, what would that make me and you, or somebody in our situation who haven't? I don't know how we fix our mouths to say certain things. Let me see what Queen D. New said. You might need to make him a moderator again. Okay. Will do. And hey, D. New, Black Line, I think it was Leandre, and whoever else. I appreciate y'all getting me through that process, because that was aggravating. Especially when I didn't even block the dude. Like, we got cats coming up in my chat talking about I'm a traitor to the Kemetic temple and he can please my wife better than me and all of this kind of stuff. And y'all blocking Sutek? Really? Come on, man. Yeah, like I say, that's why that partnership is no longer intact. We got cats, Israelites coming in here talking about like these dudes scouring porn websites trying to find somebody who looks similar to me, talking about they're gonna send it to my wife and tell her I'm cheating on her. But y'all blocking my man Sutek. Yeah, Black Line, I straight excuse me, hold on. We doing a show. This was a couple weeks ago. We doing a show. And dude comes in from time to time. I don't sweat it. I let him say what he want to say about me, because he never hit the link. And he not, because he one of them dudes that it'll be an insult to say he acting like, it'll be an insult to women to say he acting like a woman. You know what I mean? So he comes in, I'm pretty much ignoring him. And Leandre say, bruh, you see this dude? I'm like, what? He said, you see this, you see this dude, what he said about your wife? I'm like, what? So Leandre sends me a screenshot. Bruh, if you go back and look at that show, I'm gone. Like, I leave the show. Because you already know, Black Line. I hit my mans in them. And because again, me and dude know each other. Dude 35 minutes away. So this ain't somebody out of town or nothing like that. You 35 minutes away, my G. So I hit a couple phone numbers, and I keep forgetting to holler at Teddy, because Teddy know this clown too. But I hit a couple phone numbers, and next thing you know, his pregnant side chick getting a knock at the door. Now he at home sleep with his wife. He in the bed with his wife playing in my chat. But my man's in them at his side chick house, and I'm getting dressed, and I'm like, hey, get your boy on the phone, because now I need I need an apology before this stream ends. And I don't know when it's gonna end, because I ain't on there. So it can end in 5 seconds or 5 minutes, 5 minutes or 5 hours. But I bet it better be an apology in that chat before it go off the air. If not, we're going to see each other tonight and we're going to settle up another way, period. Because you put my wife in your mouth. Now, you could have kept talking all that noise about me that you wanted to talk, and it would have been all good. But you chose to go there. So since that's where you chose to take it, this where it got to go. And that's what these cats on the internet don't understand. Go play with these internet dudes. Don't play with me, especially about my queen. Look, it ain't nobody. You could be a UFC fighter, the baddest boxer. You're not disrespecting my queen. If I gotta be looking like Martin in the episode with Tommy Hearns, that's what it is. Because you ain't getting that off with mine. But I'm never coming to talk once you take it there. So I'm telling my man, I'm tying up my boots right now, my dude. So, like, how you want this to be? Because you 35 minutes from somebody that you shouldn't be playing with. And before that stream was over, you see, and I apologize to your queen, you and y'all children. Now he want to sit down with the elders and peace. Nah, ain't nothing to peace out. Just keep my name out your mouth. And what he do? He goes over on my sister Neo channel. Still talking about now he want to say I bullied him. No, you bullied yourself. Because you could have kept it talking that goofy stuff about me. But you brought my wife in it. I done made it clear. Look, don't play with me about my wife. That's all. And she'll tell you, don't play with her about me. Play with yourself. You got too many issues, my dude. You got a whole other chick pregnant. And everybody know your business. Except the one person who you don't want to know, don't know. But I'll put all that on blast. And leave you broken and bloody. So, like, keep it kosher. If like we ain't got to take it there. I don't even want to go there. I ain't trying to blow up nobody's spot. Just don't be disrespectful. That's all. And you got this weird Israelite, Nehemiah, whatever his name is, Nehemiah 9:10. Again, like literally takes a porno off a site and talking about he gonna send this to my wife and say it was me. A couple of people who happen to be cool with me happen to see this whole discussion, and he say, DMG, which channel did you see Sutek play? It was on this one. I just took him out of the blocked category, so he should be able to comment now. He should be able to comment. Once I see him in the comments, I'm a mod him up. Let me see. Yeah, I definitely took him out. So hopefully he can hopefully he can comment now. And like I say, I'll mod him up. Oh, you know what? Tell him to try now, Teddy, because I hadn't saved it. It was just sitting there. I exited him out, but I never saved it, so I just saved it now. So tell him to try now, and then I think we'll be good. And then, like I say, as soon as I see him, I'll mod him up. That's my bad. I ain't even realize I was supposed to save it and all of that and exit out. I'm too busy running my mouth about this, fugazi behavior from these. One is a comedic cat and the other one is an Israelite. So, but yeah, you got this Israelite that like how much porn do you have to watch to try to come up with somebody that supposedly look like me? Like how sick do you have to be to look at that much? Like you looking at cats build and looking at like you got a whole different set of problems, my G, for you to be looking at men that closely to try to find one that you think resemble me enough where you could try to get that off on my wife. That's how stupid these cats is. I've been with my wife, it'll be 26 years in August. And we done been through like you name it, we faced it. Poverty. We lost a kid. I got bipolar 2 disorder. And we've been knowing each other since 2nd grade, got married at 20 and 19. You name it, it's been thrown against us, and we still here. But this dude says, I'm a use a porno and say he cheated on his wife, and you thought my queen was gonna fall for it. She was gonna be like, yeah, that's my man. Like these religious quacks, these cult members are some of the dumbest people you're gonna ever see. But he got his retribution coming as well, because I thought he left it alone. What'd he do? He pops up on my sister Neo channel talking crazy about me. So and people forget, like you just can't come to Black Lion Supreme with anything about me, just like you can't come to me with anything about him. And we ain't gotta be face to face. It's just a certain integrity that I recognize in him and that he recognized in me. Same thing with my sister Neo. You go over in her chat talking crazy about me and you thought you was gonna get that off. My sister blocked him immediately. So, you know, these people are ridiculous, and it just go to show you how little integrity they actually have, how insecure they is, because this thing with this Nehemiah 910 dude was all because I defended my brother Cap 10K when it came to that fight with IUIC PD. Now, when you think about that, you that butt hurt over a man. All right, I got you modded up, Sutek. Welcome back. I apologize for the fake Indian dude blocking you. I should have been taking care of this, but I'm glad y'all reminded me today. So we got my brother back in the building. But yeah, like I say, I ain't had nothing to do with that. I ain't even know dude was a fake Indian until that show. So I'm just trying to collab with my brothers, and yeah, it was a mess, but that was that. But yeah, this Nehemiah 10 dude started all that drama because I defended Cap 10K when he had to fight with IUIC PD. And I'm like, bruh, how much porn did this Bible believer have to watch in order to try to find somebody that looks similar to me, and then decide you was gonna send it to my queen? You idiot. As if a woman who been knowing me since 2nd grade, my whole life, elementary, middle, and we got married as young adults, and you thought she was gonna see this dude. You thought she was gonna see this person and be like, yeah, that's my guy. like, come on, man. I just I can see how you got roped into a cult. You're an idiot. But yeah, I just had to get that rant off. Shout out to my brother Byron. You know what? That's what Captain K and my wife's and our brother Nobody, they all said the same thing. Like literally nobody was like, hey bro, I think he might be looking at you a particular way. And my wife, like, so about a second after he said it, my wife said something similar, and I'm looking at my phone, and I'm looking at my wife like, why y'all have to go there? But really, when you think about it, what other explanation could it be that you would like? Come on, man. How many of these porn movies did you have to watch to get a match? See, how many rides is we looking at for you to be like, yeah, that could be DMG? No, let's look at one more, see if we can get closer. Well, like, what are you doing? Sick. But yeah, this fake Kimmy dude, like I say, he 30 minutes away. I'm in O'Fallon. He in Ferguson, and Teddy know how close that is, and so yeah, he got to visit, because you're not finna come in my chat and mention my queen, my dude. But what's so odd about it? He comes in my chat talking about since I'm a Christian and I let Christians take over my channel, I must be soft and I can't be pleasing my wife. He gonna have to step up. All this kind of stuff. Y'all can actually, Leandre sent me I put a promo on the channel for those who haven't seen it. That ain't nothing but like a minute. Go watch it. You'll see the screenshots Leandre seen me, and then you see the punk apologize. But this is all because over 2 years ago, I stopped following the Kemetic temple that I was associated with. And I still got love and respect for him. I still revere Kemet. So that, but you so butthurt that you would come in my chat talking crazy, and you know you in the same city as me, and you ain't think like you ain't think nobody was gonna pull up. The internet dudes, for the men listening, don't be an internet cat, an internet tough guy, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna run into a real tough guy, and you're gonna have to stand on what you said. And now I'm a bully, and you want to sit down with the elders. Ain't no sitting down, dog. Ain't no sitting down. We good. Just keep my name out your mouth, and you best keep my queen out your mouth. Or next time, ain't nobody coming to your pregnant mistress house. We coming to your crib. That's all. But I'm gonna throw this link in one more time. Again, the subject matter is Christianity really part and parcel to white supremacy, and were our ancestors fools for believing in it? Now, the origin of this conversation came up between me and my brother Sabio. He hit me up and was like, man, you got that fool's gold. And I'm like, what you talking about? Christianity is fool's gold. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So I say, well, your ancestors fools. My man stood on it. He said, yeah, I'm going to say what y'all don't want to say. I'm like, bet. We're going to have a dialogue about this. And you know how me and Sabio do. But like I say, I think my man busy right now. So that being said, I brought the question to the chat, because you had a group of European people who said they were Christians and they wanted to keep our ancestors enslaved. They used a fake Bible with missing passages and all of that, right? And you had another group of white people who my man Black Lion pointed out were the minority that said this ain't right, and they fought against that. They helped our ancestors escape to freedom at the risk of their own lives, hiding them under floorboards, hiding them in their wagons, etc. And they knew that if they got caught, while those slaves would go back into enslavement, they would die or face harsh prison sentences because they were helping our ancestors, and they still did it. And so my question is, who's a Christian and who ain't? And the fact that they was the minority, again, Matthew 7, 13 through 14. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. So I'm not surprised that the people who were helping our ancestors was in the minority. That again backs up my belief, my assertion that they were actually genuine Christians, while the other people who wanted to keep our ancestors enslaved was fronting. Because that scripture that says there is neither Jew nor Gentile, bond nor free, etc. That was removed from the Bible that they gave our ancestors. That's kind of suspicious to me. So which one of these Europeans represented what the scriptures say Christianity is supposed to stand for, and which ones didn't? And when we look at our ancestors, Martin Delany, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Phyllis Wheatley, the list goes on and on. All the black men who fought in the Union Army, all the black men and women who volunteered in these makeshift clinics and hospitals during the war, who was ducking and dodging bullets and cannons to get messages back and forth. All of those men and women, while the Underground Railroad was still being conducted, were they fools? I don't see it. And if what we doing now can't stand up to what they did, we should probably keep our mouth off of it. That's my stance. And again, like I say, everybody is entitled to their own opinions, but facts are facts. Within 80 years of coming out of slavery, my ancestors was some of the best businessmen and women in this country. Land and developed land. And we know that the only reason these things didn't last was because jealousy from evil Europeans who didn't want to see our people thrive. But those so-called fools got that done within a couple of generations. I don't see fools. I see some of the most profound people that ever existed. Period. I see people who endured the most harsh treatment in the history of mankind, the most barbaric, the most inhumane. And yet, when you look around at us, we their legacy. See, they made it so we can get on here and talk about whether Christianity is right and exact. They made it so we can be on this platform and other platforms and talk whatever talk we want to. They did that with their blood, sweat, and tears. Put some respect on their name. And while you at it, put some respect on their God name. Because they said they belief in their God is what got them through. I ain't say it. They said it. Like I said, if I say my love for my wife is what motivates me to get up every morning and hit that clock and then get off and do my courier job. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I go to the auction and I buy a car and I get whatever I got to get done to it so I can sell it at a profit. If my wife is my motivation for that, never mind on the weekends when I do my cleaning company thing. If my wife is my reason for my hustle, if she my inspiration for my hustle, how another man gonna come and tell me that that ain't my motivation or my inspiration? You can't, because I'm telling you it is. So how I'm gonna tell them that they God wasn't behind whatever they thought they God was behind? I ain't got that right. Put some respect on your ancestors' name. They wasn't fools. They was anything but a fool. So since we ain't got nobody in the chat, we got what my man Black Lion say? You leaving out the Steven from Django types. Oh no, yeah, we know we had those. But again, just like you got a clean glass and a dirty glass, we know house Negroes like Steven. You know that what's wrong, master? What's wrong, boss? We sick. You know that slave that wanted to be wanted to endear himself to the master. We know that was a broken Negro. We know that was a sick Negro. And we understand that Negro had to be left behind. But we also know that now, and it's the thing, that just like the enslaver said he was a Christian, that Negro said he was a Christian. See, it's all about, it ain't about what we say. It's about what we can prove. See, that enslaver can't prove he was a Christian. Not keeping people enslaved, not breeding Negroes like animals, not beating and hanging and lynching and skinning Negroes. He can't prove he was a Christian. However, those people who was liberating our ancestors, those Negroes who fought for their own freedom and came back and got others at the risk of that freedom, they can prove it. My brother, the scholar in the building. What's going on, man?
What's up, 314? How you doing, man? I meant to tune in like an hour ago. But what's the challenge to Sabio?
Sabio said that he hit me up and he was like, dang, DMG, you really got that fool's gold. And I was like, what you talking about? He was like, the Bible is fool's gold. So I was like, oh yeah. And so he say, I asked him, I say, so were your ancestors fools? He said, yeah, they was fools. I'm gonna say what y'all don't want to say. And so my challenge was for him to come in here and prove that. First, to prove that Christianity is part and parcel to white supremacy and that our ancestors was fools for following. I don't think he can, but I think my brother was otherwise occupied, so he ain't make it in. So real quick before you respond to that, did you know the young man who walked the Harris stove and he ended up so he can make his graduation and end up getting all of that help as a result? I don't know if you saw that on the news or not. Because I know you just graduated as well, then. And they said his cousin walked with him to graduation, and then they found out he walked, and he ended up getting a car and a full ride and all of that. We lost our brother. He said his audio was messed up. He gonna come right back. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for the brother. But yeah, I just that's kind of. Oh, here we go. We got him back. You good now?
Go ahead.
No, I was asking, did you know that young man who he ended up walking to Harris Stowe to his graduation?
No, I didn't know him.
Okay. Was that the same? Was that your graduation?
Yes, it was.
Okay. I was wondering. I was like, man, I wondered if the brother know him. But yeah, I thought that was dope. That was a cool story for once. You know what I mean? But what you think about that, man? Were our ancestors fools for believing in Christianity?
This is what I would say. I would say that we got Christianity, Judaism, and Islam from slavery, and our minds was messed up. And so, I mean, I wouldn't say they were fools, but because they had to use what they had to at the time period. But like organizations such as the AME Church, I mean, all these groups failed. And I think that we as African people, we need to go back to African religions because psychologically it's of our creation. And it would be more beneficial to us to go back to African religions.
Okay, Teddy said he was in high school. Okay. Yeah, you know what, Teddy, you're right, because they did say he I think he got several scholarships. So I think you're right. Yep. Okay. I didn't mean to interrupt you, brother. Keep going.
Oh, yeah, that's what I had to say, man.
Yeah, Sabio said something similar, and now Sabio is staunchly against religion. And so when he said we should go back to African religions, I was kind of surprised because I was like, what difference do it make to you if we go back to African religions or not? Because you against religion either way. So I would ask you, when as it relates to religion, why do you think an African-centered religion would be better versus Christianity when we see, like, do you not see people who are successful, African people or African descended people who are successful in this world who are Christians?
Okay. I would say that psychologically, I mean, well, I'm gonna say this to you first of all. If you say that, why should we, go back to African religions, then, you shouldn't be angry if they like cancel, Black History Month or take, the 1619 projects out of school, you know? So it's like, what I'm meaning to say is that psychologically speaking, you have to know who you are and what your ancestors created for psychological purposes. And Christianity, Judaism, and Islam is not an African creation. It was created by people who would be classified as by non-Africans. It's so we have to keep that in mind. And what you saying about people of who subscribe to the Abrahamic faith is more successful. I mean, what does that have to do with?
Not more successful but that have been successful, period. Because the reason I ask is what is to me the goal in life is to take care of the people who you're responsible for taking care of, your family, etc. And if you a Christian and you doing that and you thriving and you not selling out your people, you not doing things that are to the detriment of your people, and you a Christian, then salute. If you a person who practice an indigenous African religion and you doing that, salute. But I don't see how we can knock somebody who a Christian as long as they not selling out themselves or they people. Because like when we talk about the psychological effects, what psychological effects are we talking about? We that is going to be an afterlife, or that they believe in one deity. Like what's the psychological effects? I'm trying to figure out what the negative aspects are.
Well, the negative aspects are, and this is just my opinion. Um, if you subscribe, I don't. Okay, let me say this. If if you and well, I'm going to quote John Henry Clark.
Salute, Texas, Bama. I appreciate you, sis.
When you are proponents of religions that was imposed on your people, you become spiritual prisoners of that other people. And I'm going to use another quote by Dr. Clark. No people will ever be free so long as their God concept was given to them by another people. And so and I'm going to more of the psychological aspects. Um, when you wind up studying your history, right, whether it be African history, African American history, you tend to have a feeling for it, almost a sense of pride about yourself when you find out, oh, this is what my ancestors were doing, et cetera, et cetera. So when you have an African American who's studying an African religion, they're going to be more they're going to be more in tune. It's going to be good psychologically for them because it's made by them, you know.
Okay, and I understand that. But the only issue I have with what you said is you said that if the part where you said if your religion is given to you by somebody else, and I don't think that's necessarily a statement that holds up, because you have people who get religion from all kinds of places that thrive as human beings, regardless of where it came from. Tina Turner just died. She was a Buddhist. That's a religion that started in India, thrived in other parts of Asia, but if you talk to her, she will tell you that changed her life for the better. So how am I, or who am I, or you, to knock her for something that had a positive impact on her life and benefited her and her family for the better, regardless of where it came from? That's one thing. But the other part is this: when we talk about Christianity and we talk about Africa, Christianity has thrived in Africa almost since its inception. See, we got this thing where we want to talk about Christianity from a modern standpoint, with what those Europeans who I was just talking about that said they were Christians, who gave our ancestors a slave Bible that had missing passages in. We want to talk about it from that context, but we don't talk about how Christianity has been in Ethiopia for over 1,600 years, and how it's been in Northern Africa for longer than that, Northeast Africa, I should say. And so, and it wasn't forced on nobody. They chose Christianity over their own indigenous religions. And so I feel like we reduce our African ancestors and our direct ancestors here to dummies, for lack of a better word, when we say things like they were forced, when clearly when you go back to the first century, these were people coming into Africa right in at Christianity's inception. They didn't even have the power to force it on nobody. They presented what they believed, and those Africans chose whether or not they wanted to follow it. That's my issue when we say stuff like that. And then we have Africans who actually contributed to what Christianity is today. It wouldn't be that if it weren't for African minds. And so if we saying that somebody else gave us this religion, who are the somebody else's? Because it wouldn't be what it is without Africans. So did Africans give it to us? Or at least in part did they give it to us? Because you don't have a Trinity concept in Christianity were it not for Africans. It's several key components to the Christian faith that you don't have a sound explanation of were it not for African minds. And so when we say somebody else gave it to us, who is the somebody else we talking about?
Well, if we're going to look at history, Christianity started in Rome. And these Romans are Italians or white people.
You said Christianity started where?
Christianity started in Rome.
Hold up. Christianity started in Rome?
Yeah.
Not first century Palestine, but Rome.
Okay.
Give me. I'm asking. You saying Rome as in Rome, Italy? That's where Christianity started.
The Roman Empire. They were the ones who modernized it today. So basically, it's a European religion.
But you do know Christianity existed prior to Rome adopting it, though.
There were like several thousand sects of Christianity that was around before then, but
what I'm saying is you do know the Orthodox Church, like when Rome adopted Christianity, the Orthodox Church still existed alongside of it. The church that started in first century Palestine still existed.
Well, let me take that back. Modern Christianity that we know today started in Rome. And so for real, it's a European religion because there were like before the Romans took over, there were like 3,000, probably more than that, different sects of Christianity, but it's still not African.
So your statement is that from the first century to the fourth century, when it started in the first century, would you agree?
Yes.
So within 400 years, there were already 3,000 sects.
That was like more than that. There's a book that goes into it, and I'm just using like 3,000 as like an estimate, but there's a book that you should grab called the Gnostic Scriptures, where it talks about a lot of the sects in Christianity that survived, and they was doing some weird stuff.
Right. But my point would be that the Orthodox Church that originally started Christianity, it didn't go nowhere, regardless of what Rome did. And let's say you're right about the 3,000 sects. The original church still existed. So regardless of what these other people was doing, the original people that started it, the original church, always existed. So I don't know where, so because Rome adopted it, we should just forget about who the originators were.
I mean, but they took it over. But
no,
what I'm saying is still
they really didn't, though. They really didn't.
And say it again.
They really didn't. They really didn't take it over. You don't really have a Roman Catholic Church to like the 14th century, when it was a legit skirmish and split. Like that church didn't form until many years after that. People think just because Rome adopted Christianity as its religion, all of a sudden the Catholic Church was born. That's not what happened. And I think we got a lot of ideas about history mixed up, because, and I'm not saying that this is you, but a lot of us are butthurt about what took place at the hands of these people who said they were Christians. And so we buy into a lot of false claims with regards to the history of Christianity that's it's just not true. So my thing is, if you have the original church that started in the first century, that always existed, never had went anywhere, regardless of what Rome was doing, why don't we focus on those teachings instead of what we know were corrupted teachings by Rome? It seemed like we tend to forget that you still had the original concept right there. And I fail to see how we can take what Rome was doing as the standard over what they were doing.
Why can't we focus on African religions?
We can, if you want to.
I'm just being honest, because it's like
you can. I don't have a problem with nobody. Like, you can focus on whatever religion you want to. The issue is when we talk about those African religions, be real and honest about what they are, and be real and honest about what Christianity is. Like, I don't. To me, you can't get caught up in the rhetoric about Christianity, because when you get caught up in the rhetoric, then you start talking about some things that's just not true. Same thing for African religions. I don't like, to me, when you talk, like, let's take Kemet, for example. To me, the Kemetic tradition is not a polytheistic spiritual concept. When we look at our moon, and let me make sure I source this, because I don't want to make a claim and not back it up with a source. So give me 1 second, and
I'm not a Kemet person, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm just using that as an example, because I know a lot of people, because of the YouTube and all of that, is more familiar with those concepts. But we can talk about the Orishas and others. But where am I? Let me get my notes.
Because I've just put that out there because people keep confusing me as a Hebrew Israelite, like that one girl.
Yeah, no, I would. I'm not going to insult you with that, bro.
What's that one girl named? The cute girl with the dreads. I can't think of her name.
My sister Neo.
Yeah. I came on her show one day. She was like, "Oh yeah, how does it feel being a Hebrew Israelite?" I'm like, "What?"
Hey, you know what though? I'm not gonna lie. When I saw Tori was an Israelite, I automatically thought you was too. But we can't jump to conclusions. I was happy to see that you wouldn't. I'm not gonna hold you. But so this is the source. Richard H. Wilkerson, who is a renowned scholar in the field of Egyptology. He says that by the 16th dynasty, Amun's place in the country's pantheon was so pronounced that virtually every other deity was encompassed within Amun, to the point where they were merely expressions of that one deity. In other words, so when Jabari says uh, we are all there's only one being in existence, and we are all just expressions of that one being. This is where that concept comes from. The concept of our moon being the hidden force behind everything in creation, and Ra being the seen aspect of everything in creation, and Ptah kind of being that creative force within our brains. And so they really form a trinity in Kemet that's more akin to what the Christians have, than a Sar, Set, and Harut, because those three beings were viewed as the same deity, although they were distinct from one another. And you can check the Linden hymns for my source for that information. And so again, I have no problem with African concepts, because what you will find in a lot of these African concepts are the same concepts that we see in Christianity. Hence why so many Africans found it easy to convert to Christianity. Whether you believe that's right, wrong, or indifferent, that's why, because you had so many similar concepts. So I don't have a problem if people want to practice indigenous African traditions. That's fine. I just want people to be truthful about Christianity. But go ahead, bro.
I feel like you trying to hide behind. I want people to be truthful, right?
No, I don't hide. I don't
Hold on.
correct the language. I don't hide behind nothing, bro.
Wait, no, I feel like you are. Cause I'll tell you why.
I'm not hiding.
Because you're trying to do that, trying to protect Christianity because it's very dear to you. So
No, I don't even think it needs protection if people actually educate themselves. I think we get into a lot of misinformation about it again, because we choose to reject it, and that's fine. I've been there. But I also bought into a lot of misinformation that I found out was just wrong. And that don't have to make you be a Christian. But see, the truth is the truth, regardless of whether we want to adhere to a particular doctrine or not. See, if I asked you, did a man named Jesus exist in first century Palestine under Roman occupation, what would your answer be?
I don't believe he existed.
And that would be based on?
For what I've watched on Myth Vision, all the biblical historians and scholars that be on there keep saying that I believe that a person named Jesus existed. And I'm like, okay. So I'm going by, they're saying I believe, and I just don't believe.
So you going by, so your belief on whether or not somebody who is potentially a historical person, your belief in whether or not they existed is based on what you're seeing on Myth Vision?
Well, no, I mean, this is what the biblical scholars are talking about.
Right. So what I'm asking is, have you studied this for yourself?
I have, but what it appears to me is that the only thing that they keep trying to find the only thing that they can basically base the validity of Jesus existing off of is the Bible itself, and that's pretty fishy to me.
So
this is just what I've,
Right. So when I asked, have you studied it for yourself, so you haven't seen any extra biblical information that would indicate that a man named Jesus existed?
I mean, I have read Josephus, but he was a Roman propagandist, so it's like it's hard for me to trust the source for real. But all the biblical scholars say that I believe that a person named Jesus existed, for what I've seen so far.
When you read Josephus and you say he was a Roman propagandist,
that was his history. Yeah, that was his history.
Yeah. And he was a traitor that became. I agree with you, but what would that have to do with his assertion that Jesus was a historical person and the validity of it?
He was a proponent of the Roman Empire. So it's like it it's very strange. Like I need primary sources. I
So
don't really.
so but the Roman Empire wasn't a proponent of Jesus though. Not in Josephus's time. The Roman Empire was persecuting Christians at that time. So why would what incentive would Josephus have to say a man named Jesus existed when they were persecuting his followers?
I mean,
You see the problem. So let me say this. So you have a situation where I got my man saying that Jesus didn't exist. And we know Jesus didn't exist because the Flavians, who became the rulers of Rome, they had Josephus invent Jesus. And it's like, okay, that's cool, and that sound interesting. Like it's an interesting historical fiction, except it don't hold water. And here's why. Nero, if you know anything about Roman history, it starts with the Julio-Claudian dynasty with Augustus Caesar, formerly known as Octavian. So he adopts the moniker Augustus. I believe the second emperor was Tiberius. Then you had Caligula. Then you had Nero. Here's the thing about Nero. Nero being the fourth and last emperor in that dynasty. He accuses Christians of burning Rome. After Nero commits suicide or is killed, whichever one it was, you had what they call the War of Four Emperors, where you had the civil war to determine who was going to be the next emperor. After that war is when the Flavians take over, right? So you have, I forgot their names, but it was the father and his two sons. That was the Flavian dynasty. So if Nero accused Christians of burning Rome, and the Flavians were supposedly the people who created Christianity and thus Jesus, how did Nero, who was in power before them, accuse the Christians of burning Rome? Because that would have preceded the Flavians. So I don't, the timeline don't match. So you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So Josephus has no incentive to make up for Jesus. It wouldn't have been nothing he benefited from. He's just doing the history of his people, which is why he mentions more than one, because Joshua or Yahshua or whatever the moniker was a common name. So he didn't have no incentive to make up a character like people try to make it seem. And if Nero, again, who preceded his administration, for lack of a better term, and power, accused these same people of burning the city, then that means they already existed prior to those people coming in power. So because the motivation is supposedly that they created this religion to make these people passive, but this religion existed before they even came into power. So I just make that make sense. Am I wrong about Nero?
You would, bro. White flag.
No, man. I just
White flag.
And look, before we get off, and I appreciate you coming on. It's a service for an elder that was a part of the Kemetic organization I was in. Really, really good brother. They having a celebration of life for his transition at Legacy Bookstore on the 25th. If you ain't got nothing going on that Sunday, we should link up and stop in there, and then maybe go somewhere else, sit down and rap for a minute. Because I know I've been planning on linking up with you. So, but I think that'll be a good day to do it. Going there, it'll be a lot of people from the UAPO, Zaki Baruti, Amari.
We can do that.
Yeah, so I keep you posted and hit you up with the time. I'm gonna inbox you the flyer like I say, we can link up, go in there, get something to eat, chop it up. So, and then it's like I say, it's several people you'll be able to meet with regards to the Pan African movement. A lot of people who practice indigenous African. So it'll be a lot of people in there who I think you could build with. So older people, as well. So they'll be excited to meet a young man of your stature. So I think that'll be a cool opportunity. So yeah, man. Like I say, I appreciate you coming on, man, and hey, keep doing what you're doing. We got to build on Pan Africanism again on the show too.
So did anybody else come on today?
No, ain't nobody else hit the link, man. Like I say, I think my man Sabio was supposed to come on, but since he didn't, I just rocked it out. But me and him, we'll get to it again, and we'll see what's up. But yeah, like I say, man, hey, for y'all who watching, this young man is a powerful young scholar and teacher in the making. As you can see, he know his stuff. And like I say, we can agree to disagree without being disrespectfully disagreeable. This is a young man who I'm definitely looking forward to meeting in person, but powerful young man. So yeah, man, keep doing your thing. And like I say, I'll keep you posted on that transition and that celebration of life situation. And
I'll shoot you my address.
For sure. All right, man. All right, family. So that's been it. So, like I said, I just had some questions, and then nobody hit the link except my young brother. But we got the man, Black Lion Supreme, in the building. What's up, big bro? But hey, I was just doing my closing soliloquy. What's going on, bro?
Well, I'm gonna have to come up here and say, my young brother.
Yeah, that's a low key, that's a powerful young brother, man. And we in the same city, man. So I got to link up with that brother.
Yes, he is. Now, what I want you to do is show us the first country to make Christianity outside of Palestine their official religion. Let's see if it's in Africa.
You said the first country?
Yes.
No, it wasn't in Africa. I forget. Was it? Ain't that country that the Kardashians from? What's the name of it?
Yeah, Armenia.
Armenia. Yeah.
And from there, they are some of the oldest Christians on earth out of Jordan. Now you brought up Ethiopia. Ethiopia doesn't convert to Christianity until 4th century CE. And this is brought into Ethiopia. And remember, the Ethiopian Bible was translated from the Septuagint, which is Greek. So there's your European contact right there. So you have to show me Africans, especially in West Africa, practicing Christianity before European contact. That's the one thing that no one has been able to do.
So it just depends on who you consider a European. Do you consider Israelites in the first century Europeans?
Okay, so what form of Christianity was Africans practicing that came from Israel or Palestine?
So this is my position. Before it even gets into Europe or Asia, Christianity comes into Northeast Africa. Like
where in Northeast Africa? You mean
Egypt. In Canada.
They talking about the Coptics.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the Coptics are not African.
Huh?
The Coptics are not the people who came up with Coptic, who created the Coptic church. They were invaders to Kemet. It wasn't indigenous to Kemet. They were invaders.
Wait. Okay. So we saying for the record,
Hmm.
the Coptics were all Greek.
Well, we're not saying that they were all Greek, but they all gone sure it wasn't African.
So we saying that they
They
weren't.
converted.
There were no
They converted.
indigenous Africans amongst the Coptics.
Yeah. Oh yes, but they converted them into Christianity. In
No,
other
no.
words,
Did they can?
the indigenous people of Africa did not come up with the concept of copy. It was brought into to Egypt.
No. What? So what I'm asking is this: when those Christians came in and they said, "Look, this is what we believe, etc. Y'all should believe this too." Did they force those Africans, or did those Africans choose to follow that?
There was a lot of bloodshed. If you really do the background,
No,
there
I'm
was a
talking
lot of.
about. I'm talking about initially in the first, because don't remember those Christians didn't have no power. Those Christians that came into Africa, we talking about at the inception of Christianity. They ain't had no power to make nobody do nothing.
So you're talking about early, the late first century to early second century, when you're talking about Coptic Christianity in Egypt. Egypt at the time is occupied by foreign nations.
We talking like 43 AD.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So you're talking about no, it's really actually later when you talk about the Coptics. I think it's later than that. It's late in the first century. It's
Well,
not
see,
immediate
I'm
first
saying
century.
that Eusebius wrote that the gospel writer Mark came into Alexandria as early as 43 AD.
The who you said Mark?
Correct.
Okay, so that's tradition. There's no evidence of Mark, anyone named Mark. Matter of fact, Mark is not even the author of the book of Mark. We don't know who the author of the book of Mark was. We don't know who the author of the book of John or Matthew or Luke were. These are names that were added to the Gospels.
No.
Ancient Gospels.
I understand. I understand that concept. But what I'm saying is, we can still look back at 43 AD and see that Christianity had come into that area, right?
Well, we can look to let's go all the way back to the first century, right? In first century Palestine and Israel is occupied by Romans. So Romans, Greeks and Romans, Greco-Romans, were already in North Africa before and after Christianity began. So you're already being occupied by foreign territories in northern Africa. You're talking about anytime you're talking about first century Christianity, you're talking about Roman occupied uh, Israel, Roman occupied Palestine, Roman occupied Egypt.
Yeah, that would be the same Rome that were persecuting Christians, right?
Well, let's talk about that. Now the Romans, you do have a couple of emperors who did persecute Christians just because they were Christians. This is later on down the line. For the most part, Christians were persecuted because they went against Roman authority, not simply because they were Christians. So we have to
Yeah,
keep
I'm
that in
not.
mind.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the reason. What I'm simply saying is they were persecuted. So this idea that they could force somebody to follow what they were following would be false,
As long as
because
you
they didn't have power in Rome because they were being persecuted by Rome.
as far as the Romans were concerned, as long as you appeared to Roman authority, as long as you gave homage to Roman gods, you could worship any god you wanted. So they didn't go around persecuting Christians because they were merely worshiping another god. They persecuted Christians because they was having illegal gatherings. They persecuted Christians because they would not recognize gods of Rome, of the empire. those were the things that they got persecuted for in the beginning. Now, later on, you do have a couple of lunatic emperors who started to persecute Christians just because they were Christians. They didn't last long, but that did happen. But in the beginning, and for the most part of that time period, Christians, along with anyone else, were persecuted for not obeying the standards and laws set up by Rome. Not just because they practice and worship other gods outside of Rome.
And I don't, you know, hey, big bro, you know, I'm not in disagreement with you on that particularly. My point would be that because they were being persecuted for whatever reason, they didn't have any power to enforce their religion on anybody else.
No, the power came from the Rome. Once Christianity got its power, once it was adopted by the Romans. The Romans is the power that backed up Christianity, gave Christianity its position in the world today. Before that, you're absolutely right. You're talking about a small band of people who had no power whatsoever. Once the Romans adopted the religion, now they have a power base.
Right. That wouldn't be to the 3rd century though.
Right. Correct.
Right. I'm with
you. Now Christianity is growing and is getting money. And at the time, Constantine had lost a lot of money. So why did he adopt Christianity? It was really for financial reasons. So the power of Christianity was in the money that the churches was collecting. So because it did grow, it started to grow without the Roman Empire. And Constantine seen this, so he snatched the opportunity to get a hold of some of that money by trying to make Christianity the official religion in Rome, which he didn't even do himself. That didn't happen until later on down the line. And then you have Nero, who did it for the same thing. Nero robbed the the temples. He was also in financial. He had financial issues, and this is another reason why he was involved with Christianity, because he actually married a Christian woman, which at the time they were called. They wasn't called Christians; they were called the people of the way. So he actually married a woman who was into Christianity. People don't understand this. So what I'm trying to say is that there were political reasons why Christianity, Rome took on Christianity. And not just that, you also have to understand that anyone who did not follow the rules of the Roman Empire at the time was crucified and persecuted in some type of way. Not just because they didn't follow, they was worshiping different gods. It was because they were not worshiping or paying homage to the gods of the Roman Empire. You had to do both.
Yo, what up?
Hey, real
Yo,
quick,
what up,
DL.
DMG?
Sabio gonna jump on at the end of the show. Where I don't know where
Hey,
you
I've
been.
been at work. I've been at work. I
Oh, you
just
just
seen it,
work.
bro.
Okay, got you.
Yeah,
Check
I
it out.
just seen it. I just seen everybody hitting me up like, why you ain't going on DMG? I'm like, what? Like,
Check it out.
I
I ain't know
think you
you.
put the link, and I've been at
I ain't.
work. So
Yeah, I ain't know you had.
I'll
Okay,
break it
got
down for
you.
you.
So we're gonna have to do.
Sabio.
We gonna do a part 2. So you look at the show and respond. I'm gonna let you come back on, respond. You're gonna have unlimited time, but I actually got to get ready to close because I got something coming up with Ratchet Craig. He dealing with the aftermath of the dialogue we had about Sinetta last week. So I want you to talk briefly. Here was what I talked about. I talked about is Christianity part and parcel to white supremacy, and were our ancestors fools, as you said, for following it. Respond to those two subject matters and what we can anticipate you responding, your response being. And then I want to go to my brother Gideon, and then we're gonna get out of here because I think that show's supposed to be at 7:30. But me and Sabio gonna come back when he don't have to work, and we're gonna get that part two in so he can respond. Go ahead,
All
Sabio.
right. So I do apologize to everybody because I did tell him I would be free, but work came into play. So now the first thing is Christianity, part and parcel with white supremacy. Um, and the reason I say it is I'm going to tell it like I've always said it. Anytime you force your idea of a religion or a god onto a people that existed on another continent outside of where this god developed, and you tell them they must follow this god in order to be human, you're degrading their humanity. And because the Europeans are have become the face or the people who use the religion to colonize the world, it is part and parcel with white supremacy. And there's no other way to say it. And unfortunately, like I said, when you ask me, our ancestors were in a situation to where they had to adopt or die. And they chose to adopt a religion in order to survive. Yes, to me, it was foolish, but I probably would have done the same thing in their environment, in their situation. But I still see it as counterintuitive. So, yes, it was foolish because at the same time, they gave up everything that was African in order to become Christian or Christianized and accepted in this so called Christian America. So, when I say my grandmother was a fool, my great grand, hey, to me, they were. To the ones that held on to their
Oh,
Africanness,
hey, hold
small.
it, because you're gonna have a whole show to respond. I'm gonna give you the first 25 minutes of the show to say your piece before we even start going back and forth. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you the first 30 minutes.
For
Brother
sure.
Giddy, talk to us.
Shalom, shalom. Can you better hear me?
Shalom, bro.
Yeah, man. I missed the show, man. I came in late, man. But from what you said, man, it sounded like it was a fire show. I'm gonna have to check it out again. But it's something I like to call among the conscious community, the Egyptians, or however you want to declare themselves, the Aboriginal Africans, people who think like Sabio, basically. They do something that in scholarly circles you can identify with something called comparative cancellation. He made pretty much two comparative cancellations that he spoke on. Now, what is a comparative cancellation? When you're debating a position or argument, if you make an accusation against the argument, like the people you're arguing or the position you're arguing against, say for instance, you say that this God is evil because he ate apples. If your God ate apples as well, that's something called a comparative cancellation. You can't use it. So Sabio said that they're using Christianity to purport white supremacy, regardless of where it was created. It's bad for our people because it's being used like that. So the cancellation comes in at is
What?
where we see all this information about ancient Egypt and the ancient Egyptians coming from people like Zahi Hawass, who we're having or people boycotting right now because he done Europeanized ancient Kemetic history, and also the people that translated the text for us, or rather the language of Medunetta, was Europeans. So if you're going to hold that same standard to the Bible, you have to hold it to ancient Egypt as well. Also, he said it's white supremacist because it didn't develop in Africa. Again, like half of the time I don't want to have these conversations because I see these people aren't genuine in their scholarship and in their research. Because at the very least, that's the last thing you can say. It wasn't developed in Africa, because if you read the story, our coming out was out of Egypt. So we developed ourselves as a nation coming out of quote unquote Africa, because we went into Northeast Africa anyway, which is the Levant. But even if you want to cancel out the Levant as Africa, we came out of Egypt. So yes, it did develop in Egypt. Regardless if you want to say the patriarchs before them, they weren't in Egypt, but we as a people, we increased in number in Africa. So that kills that. He says counterintuitive. All right, man, and I'm gonna land with this.
Yo, DMG,
Once,
can he
hold on,
land?
this.
Sabio,
No,
let him,
no, this is not a critique about what
Sabio,
I said. Yo, if he can
Sabio,
critique
let
what
him
I said, I'm gonna critique
Sabio,
everything
he
he
didn't
said.
say nothing. He didn't say nothing when you was talking, bro. Let him finish.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be long. I need 20 more seconds. So basically, the argument of it being counterintuitive, it kind of falls on his own sword, because once the slaves regained, and I say regained, the Bible, we use that in basically all of our institutions. Literally, none of us probably would not be here if it wasn't for the Bible and the organizations that were set up during slavery and after slavery. For instance, and I'm gonna land with this: there was a man in Virginia who was falsely accused of raping a woman. He was brought to the jail, about to get accused, convicted, sentenced to death. It was the church organization that rallied up the funds and the men to go down there and demand that man get justice, and 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 what's the word I'm looking for? And prevented the people from lynching that man. That was a church organization. And that happened thousands of times across the United States, pre and post slavery. And I'm gonna land with that. Shalom.
All right, cool. So first off,
Look, Sabio,
no,
Sabio,
no, 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 no,
Sabio.
no.
Remember, you're gonna have a half hour when we do the show to say whatever you want to say. We got to go to Rocky. Remember, I got another show coming up in like 15 minutes. We got to go to Rocky. Go ahead, Rock.
Yo, peace. I just want to say peace, man. I just want to say what's up. I caught the tail end of it. I really want to come up. I really want to come on and start some shit with Black Lives Supreme, but he was so low at first I couldn't even hear what he was saying. Hey man, I really want to come up. I really want to come up here if poke with BLS, man. Man, listen, man.
What you want, man? What you want?
Man, no, I couldn't really hear you to even form an argument. You was real low at first. I could only. It sounded like DMG was talking to himself.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah, you good. I mean, I know he finna end the show, so I ain't gonna hold him or whatever. Start a whole conversation. My man got another show in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I gotta make room for Ratchet Craig and the crew. But yeah, me and Sabio are gonna figure out another date, and we're gonna be doing it all over again from his perspective, because I'm gonna let him rock.
Okay,
So
cool.
hopefully everybody can come back. And Gideon, you definitely need to come back, because I think y'all got some unfinished business after you pissed my boy off.
Well, you know, but that's what I do. But I come in here swinging that sword for the Lord. You know?
and go back and Gideon, make sure you look at the repeat of the show, because I think me and you might be in alignment with our thought process.
All praises, all praises.
Sutek, close it out for us, man, so I can make room for the next crew.
Okay. Yeah, man. Woo. Gotta be careful when you on the same page with Hebrew Israelites. But yeah, I feel you.
No doubt.
Man, I came late.
He would
And
never get in a discussion with me with that.
I
Let
missed part
him
of it.
rock, man. Let him rock.
No, calm down, man. Hold your horses. It's okay. I came late, but I missed like the middle part of the show, man. I had to make a run, so I'm gonna have to catch the replay and see what happened, see what was said. What, because I seen in the chat, like, damn, somebody said they got their ass beat up here. Pardon my French, and I don't know what happened when I left, but apparently I missed some good shit. So I'm gonna have to catch
That was
the
me and my
replay.
young brother, man. We was just talking some history, some things that I think he had misconstrued, but I ain't really beat him up. We was just, making sure
Beat them
we
up
had
with love,
Beat him up
love
a little
taps.
bit. Beat
something
him up
like
a
that.
little
Something
bit.
like that.
Yeah. I feel you,
Beat
but
him up a little bit.
yeah, man. Good show. From what I did catch, like I said, I go back and catch the replay. I'm interested in seeing what's popping off next after this, so I'll be tuned in.
All right, for sure. All right, family. So that's that. We're gonna make room
30
for
seconds real quick.
go ahead, bro.
Just 30 seconds. Now, what Gideon's talking about, he can't show no Israelites enslaved outside of the Bible in Egypt. So let's kill that noise. Now, I'm going to say this. I would not call our ancestors fools for following Christianity in the time of the Atlantic slave trade, because what you had was them understanding and being smart enough to understand that if you could become a Christian, you could actually fight and obtain your freedom. So we're not the fools. The fools are the ones today continue to wallow in this religion handed to us by slave masters when they don't have to obtain their freedom. We're already free. So I wouldn't call our ancestors fools. They actually used it as a strategy to obtain their freedom. They used churches as meeting places to strategize to obtain freedom. So that was very smart of them. So I'm gonna just end with there, and hopefully we'll come back again to have this discussion. Thanks.
Yeah, we definitely gonna. Me and Sabio gonna get that schedule. Like I say, I hope all of y'all can come back and contribute to that conversation, because I plan on, because I was able to get this off pretty much by myself. I plan on letting the brother rock. I said a half hour, but I probably let him rock for a minute before I chime in with my replies. But because I pretty much said everything I had to say here, and in a nutshell, that's put some respect on our ancestors' name. Like my man said that they was fools for following Christianity. I say, not only do I echo Black Lion sentiments that they did what they had to do, but I think they did what they felt was the only thing they could do. And when you listen to their words, they say the reason that they was able to endure the harshest punishment, the most inhumane treatment that we know of, especially in modern times, in terms of a whole group of people being treated barbarically by another group of people. They say that the reason that they were able to endure that was because of the God that they believed in. We
DMG, real quick, can I say this?
go ahead,
What
bro.
what I see in the conscious community is the evolution from the spirituality to the atheism, because like you said, I agree with Black Lion that they went with it was there, but that was the best thing going. Now, if you're a spiritualist, you cannot quantify all the quote unquote ancient Egyptian or West African quote unquote gods. You can't when you're a spiritualist, you can't say anything about those guys, because the God of Abraham, he was the one who threw the proof in the pudding. So they had to evolve and abandon spirituality altogether and say they weren't stupid, quote unquote, but they just was believing in something that's not real. So the smart conscious person, they have to be an atheist if they want to seem all the way smart. Because if you're spiritual, where is your God? The God of Abraham been here, he never left, and he always gonna be here. Shalom.
Well, and my thing is, like, you have a situation where, listen, believe or not, or don't believe, whatever you want. Just don't tell me that the people who believe in this thing are less intelligent for believing it, because I ran off names like Frederick Douglass, Martin Delany, Phyllis Wheatley, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, etc. And I asked, were they fools, right? But I even take it up to today. My man B. Wash, a Harvard fellow, is he a fool? Because he say everything that he has and has done and has accomplished is because of his belief in Christ. Leandre, however many degrees, he says he's been able to do those things, and where they are economically is because of their belief in Christ. My queen, bachelor's, master's, working on a doctorate, and we come from getting married young. We've been poor, and we far from it now. And she gives the credit to the God of the Bible. I know damn well she ain't a fool. And so
Credit goes to her.
My thing is,
she got the education.
But I'm saying what she says is she gives the credit to her God. And that's just like I gave the analogy earlier. If I say I get up and punch the clock at my 9 to 5 every day, and I get off and I start doing my courier service from 5 to 10 every evening. And then on the weekends, I go to the auction and I buy a couple of cars and I fix them up and I sell them. And I do that every week, never mind doing my cleaning services. And I say the only reason I do those things is because of my wife. Can't no man argue with me and say that ain't why. You see what I'm saying?
Because your wife is real.
Right. But real, not real, it's real to her. And so can't nobody argue with her and say that ain't why she accomplished it. The same way we can't say that ain't why our ancestors did what they did if they said that's why they did it. That's my thing. It's like we take that part of it out of it because we come up with our own notions. But they said these things about themselves. We can't take away what they said about themselves.
No God party, no
because
race,
we can't quantify it, DMG. The European taught us to try to quantify everything.
On water for us.
Everything.
We did it for ourselves. See, maybe in Palestine they could use that because they put that in their story. We know.
Sound like you in serious B, bro. You sound way out there.
And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this real quick, and because this is another problem that I have, and because we, like Sabio mentioned, why not use African spiritual concepts? The young brother who came in, again, powerful young brother, but he said, why not use African spiritual concepts? But if you're against religion, you're against religion. So it don't matter if it's African or not. If you don't believe in religion, you don't believe in religion. And it's always funny to me. People be like, European this and European that. And I ain't talking about nobody on the panel in particular. I'm just saying these are the people who I engage with. Particularly my brother Sabio. So you believe in white Jesus? Okay. Every scholar that you throwing up at me that with their assertions about this history are white. So you ain't got no problem with white, except for when it's something you disagree with. Because if you had a problem with white, you wouldn't be coming to me with these white scholars. So your problem ain't white. Your problem is what I believe. So let's not talk about color, because I think that's a misnomer anyway, if we're talking about first century Palestine. But if you believe he white, you shouldn't have a problem with it, because every scholar that you bring into me trying to debunk his existence, his godhood, his whatever, is white. So we got to figure out how to have these nuanced arguments from a real genuine place and come with some actual.
Is from Palestine or Galilee. He's not African.
Yeah, I didn't claim that he was African.
It doesn't make you our people.
I didn't claim that.
But watch this. How many times?
I didn't claim that he was
African. How many times do we hear? Even I call myself an African. Black Lion called himself an African. You're farther away in distance from Africa than any Israelite was. So how can you say that they're not African, but you're African?
Because Israel
is in Asia,
not African. Not African. That's why.
Wait, say that again?
Because Israel is in Asia, not
right?
Africa.
And
That's
America
why.
is in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, but our
So
ancestors
what
come
makes
from
you
Africa.
African?
Hey, look, look,
So
look,
all
look,
my
look.
ancestors
I
come
want
from
y'all,
Africa.
I want y'all to continue this conversation, but I gotta go. Check it out.
Okay.
Me and Sabio gonna find out a day to get that second show on. But brothers, please come back. Again, family, this has been Paradigm Shift TV 314. Is Christianity part and parcel of white supremacy? And were our ancestors fools for following it? I'm saying just put some respect on our ancestors' names. Our brothers got their perspectives. As I say at the beginning of every show, we can disagree without being disrespectfully disagreeable, and we can have unity without uniformity. So this ain't no beef, ain't nothing negative going on. We just having dialogue and trying to get to the bottom line truth of the matter as to what direction our people should go in, or should we each stay in our perspective paradigms and still move forward? Because again, we can have unity without uniformity, so everybody can still play their respective roles and be in their respective places without being uniform in our spiritual beliefs or lack thereof. So with that being said, this is your brother DMG, aka Brother Pianki. We out of here. We'll be back at it again. Until then, y'all come back and check us out at about 7:30 my time, that's Central Time, with Ratchet Craig and the aftermath of the Sonetta, is Sonetta and the HOK good for the black community conversation me and my brother Nobody had last week. All right, family, we out.
Peace,
That's
fam.
peace.
Peace.